The air in the sun-baked village of Ile-Ife, Nigeria, in the humid season of 1888, often carried the sweet scent of shea butter and the bitter sting of gossip. This is where we meet Ao, a young man whose spirit was as fertile as the soil he tilled, yet whose physical form invited only scorn. Ao was known for his generous heart and tireless work ethic, a truly good son to his parents. But he carried a visible curse, an alarming thinness that made him look perpetually ill, and a face ravaged by boils and painful pustules that made people whisper of a curse or a deadly affliction. Ao, however, loved beauty. He cherished the graceful maidens of his village, and never failed to offer a heartfelt, gentle compliment when their paths crossed on the dusty roads. Yet, his kindness was met with cruelty. Because of his appearance, every girl would shrink away from his advances, seeing him as repulsive and utterly vile. When he passed a group of them, they would deliberately turn their backs, their voices rising in harsh whispers and loud laughter, mocking his desperation and his presumption. Some, out of pure spite, would even pelt him with pebbles. To most people in Ile-Ife, even being seen near him was considered an ill omen. But this relentless malice did not crush Ao's core. He simply accepted his fate. He could not change his face. He also could not stop being drawn to the maidens, hoping that one, just one, would look past the boils and see the man within. So, he kept his head bowed and worked his farm. One scorching afternoon, as Ao was deep in the surrounding bushland cutting wood for his hearth, a blood-curdling shriek pierced the silence. "Help! Oh, spirit of the earth, help me!" The desperate cry pulled him instantly toward a thicket nearby. Plunging through the thorny brush, he found a stunning young woman cornered by a massive, slavering spotted hyena. The beast had trapped her against a rock and was slowly closing in. Ao shouted, drawing the hyena's attention. "Amina! I am Ao, and I am here to help you. Don't move an inch, or that creature will tear you apart." The girl, tears streaming, cried back, "Please, don't leave me. My legs are frozen with terror. I am my parents' only child. Don't let me be eaten by this wicked thing." "I promise you," Ao replied, his voice firm, "that will not happen." With a surge of courage that belied his frail frame, Ao seized a heavy, gnarled branch and charged the hyena head-on. Seeing this human whirlwind rushing at it with such ferocity, the predator yelped in surprise and turned tail, bolting into the undergrowth. Ao had saved the beautiful maiden. He gently took her hand and led her to a sun-dappled, safe clearing on the edge of his farm so she could regain her composure. "Beautiful maiden," he asked, "what were you doing wandering in the deep bush like that? Do you not know that place is the home of dangerous beasts?" Amina's breathing was still ragged. I know. I just got lost. I ran away here just to weep alone and be forgotten for a while. I suppose the hyena saw me lonely and thought it would join me for comfort." Ao gave a short, genuine laugh. "Ha! A funny maiden you are. The hyena was keeping you company, you say? Then why the screams as it came closer? Perhaps it only wanted to ask you why you were so sad." As he said this, they looked at each other and shared a deep, honest moment of laughter. When the laughter faded, Ao asked, "My name is Ao. It is a true pleasure to meet you. What name does your mother call you?" "Oh, Ao," she smiled. "My name is Amina, and I am from this very village." "Ah, a maiden of Ile-Ife," Ao responded, nodding. "If I may ask, and I know I am not a hyena, what sorrow was so great that running into this perilous place seemed the only remedy?" Amina's eyes clouded. "I was with some of my friends, and they began to mock and insult me, saying I was unattractive and had no appeal to men because I still had no suitor." Ao immediately looked stunned. "That is an outrage. I mean, look at you. You are the most exquisite woman I have ever laid eyes on, and I speak only the truth." Amina blushed deeply, looking away. "You truly see me like that?" "Of course I do," he declared. "Why else do you think I risked my life to save you? Did you think it was just because of the goodness in my heart?" Ao added with a dry, teasing sarcasm. Amina laughed at his playful jab, then said, "Well, Ao, if you think I am beautiful, you should see my friends, Yatund and Tola. They are beyond beautiful. They attract every man in the village, and are showered with gifts and attention." "Wait a moment. Yatund and Tola." Ao's face darkened. "I know those women." "You do?" Amina asked, surprised. "Yes, I do," Ao confirmed. "They are among the very maidens who scream and insult me most loudly whenever I try to compliment them or pay them respects, because of my looks. I do not hate them, but I find them quite cruel. But I cannot fathom why they would make you feel ugly or lesser than them. To me, Amina, you shine far brighter than both of them combined." "You genuinely think that of me?" Amina asked, her voice small. "Yes, I do. And you know what else I think? It is time for you to find new companions, because your current ones clearly do not value the gem they have." "But where would I begin to find new friends in this lonely village?" Amina asked. "Well, for a start," Ao said, offering his hand, "I will be your friend. I promise never to insult you or make you feel inferior. All I ask is that you, in turn, never insult me or make me feel inferior." "Of course, Ao," Amina responded, squeezing his hand. From that day forward, Ao and Amina became the dearest, most inseparable friends in Ile-Ife. They spent their days together on the farm, in the forest, and often at Amina's home when her parents were away. They confided their deepest fears and secrets, offering each other unwavering support. They were two halves of a whole, complementing each other perfectly. In time, their bond deepened, growing into the powerful, tender affection they had both secretly yearned for. But in the midst of this new happiness, Amina's former companions were about to re-enter her life. One sunny afternoon, Amina was alone when a sharp rap came on her door. "Who is it?" she called out. The voices of Yatund and Tola answered her. "It is us, Amina. Please open. What are you doing here?" Amina demanded, shouting at the closed door. "We came to see you, Amina." Yatund's voice was soft. "We have missed you and haven't seen you at any of our usual gathering places. Please, open the door." "I don't want to see you," Amina screamed from inside. "You hurt me because I didn't have a boyfriend." "We know, and we are truly sorry," Tola called. "Now, please open the door so we can offer a proper apology." Amina eventually relented and opened the door. When they entered, they showered Amina with endless apologies, begging her to rejoin their fold. Amina initially refused, but under the weight of their relentless pleas, she finally gave in. They were reconciled. The following day, as the reunited friends were chatting, Yatund asked Amina if she had finally found a suitor during her time away. "No, I haven't," Amina replied. "But there is a man I have been spending time with recently. I like him very much, and I feel a true connection. I think he feels the same and might soon ask me to be his." "A crush, I see," Tola chirped. "Is he handsome? Is he wealthy?" "Well, he is handsome to me," Amina answered immediately. "And while he is not rich now, he is so dedicated and hard-working that I know he will be wealthy someday." As Amina finished, Yatund and Tola erupted in loud, mocking laughter. "So, you are still this naive, Amina?" Yatund wiped a tear from her eye. "This Prince Charming of yours, what is his name?" "I am not naive," Amina retorted. "And his name, for your information, is Ao." A silence descended on the room, thick and immediate. Tola finally broke it, her voice horrified. "Wait. Is it the Ao who looks like a ghost, the one with the face full of disgusting boils? The ugliest, most repulsive man in the whole of Ile-Ife? Please, do not tell me it is him." "I would never use such vile and hurtful words to describe his character," Amina said, standing up straight. "But yes, it is that Ao. And you should know that he cannot help the way he looks. That is simply how he is. What truly matters is the goodness inside his heart." Yatund quickly cut her off. "Who cares what is in his heart? All that matters is his face, and it is disgusting. Amina, you cannot be associated with that man. You know better. And why not? Amina demanded. Why can I not be his friend, Yatund? Yatund ticked off her reasons on her fingers. Firstly, he is grotesque. Secondly, he is poor. And thirdly, you know every soul in this village secretly despises him because of his cursed stature. Associating with him will stain your own reputation. He has treated me better than both of you ever did. Amina fired back. And all those things you say about him may be true, but that is exactly why I feel he needs me, a true, loyal friend. Imagine the loneliness he must feel with the whole village treating him as an outcast. Look, Amina, you are not a village savior, Tola interjected. Stop trying to play the goddess. Drop that man before you ruin yourself. Never, Amina replied fiercely. I will never do such a wicked thing to Ao. Very well then, Yatund's voice hardened. If we ever see the two of you together again, we will gather the villagers and disgrace you both publicly. You refuse to hear reason. You wouldn't dare. Amina exclaimed. Oh yes, I will, Yatund sneered. Do not test me, Amina. You know what I am capable of. I cannot believe I ever forgave you, Amina said, her voice filled with disgust. You are both as wicked and heartless as you were before. With that, she turned and stormed out of their presence in righteous contempt. That evening, a folded paper was slid under Amina's door. It was a note from Ao, asking her to meet him in the clearing where they first met, the following day at a specific time. He wrote that he had something profound and special to tell her. Amina read the letter happily, her mind already racing with what that special thing might be. Throughout the night, anticipation made her restless. Goosebumps rose on her skin as she played out different romantic scenarios in her head. The night seemed to stretch on endlessly, as if the dawn were deliberately delaying its arrival. But, finally, the next day came. Amina quickly prepared and, at the appointed time, headed straight for the forest. As she walked, she was completely unaware that Yatund and Tola had stealthily shadowed her, eager to see where she was going. When Amina reached the clearing, Ao was waiting. They hugged each other tightly and began to catch up, chatting about the last few days. Then, Ao interrupted the gentle flow of their conversation. Amina, he began, his voice thick with emotion. The months we have spent as friends have been so completely fulfilling. I feel as though I have known you since the day I first opened my eyes. You have filled a hole in my heart that I have been carrying since I learned to walk. What are you saying, Ao? Amina asked, feigning ignorance, though her heart pounded. What I am saying, Amina, Ao continued, stepping closer, is that I love you. You are the kindest, purest, most beautiful, and most trustworthy person I have ever known. I was blessed the moment you became my friend, and now, I want to take this a step further. Amina, will you marry me? I know, by custom, I should ask you to be my girlfriend first, but I do not want to waste a single precious moment. I know in my soul that you are the one for me, and we will figure out the rest of our lives as we walk it together. Amina, my love, I ask you, will you marry me? Amina's face was flushed with uncontrolled joy. Yes. Yes, I will marry you. They embraced, and Amina pulled him close, kissing him passionately. As the newly engaged couple reveled in their moment, Yatund and Tola were busy executing their plan to ruin it. When they had followed Amina and saw where she went, they hid silently in the dense foliage, watching them. The moment Ao began his declaration of love, Yatund dispatched Tola to alert every villager she could find, telling them to come quickly to witness a scandalous abomination. After Amina and Ao's kiss, Yatund burst out of the bushes, screaming at the top of her lungs. Shame! Shame! Shame on you, Amina! How can you accept this beast? You are a stain on our circle, and you actually kissed his boil-covered face. Disgusting! You both deserve each other. How is our love any of your business, Yatund? Have you been spying on us? Leave this place at once if you know what is good for you. Amina shot back. Or what, Amina? What will you do? Yatund challenged. For your information, I sent Tola to fetch the villagers. They are all on their way to behold this disgrace. I advise you to deny this man right now. Preserve your honor as a maiden of Ile-Ife, or you will become an outcast, just like Ao. What? How could you do such a thing? You wouldn't dare. Amina responded, grabbing Ao's hand fiercely in a display of solidarity. And for your information, I would never betray Ao. As she spoke, Tola arrived, leading a large, murmuring crowd of villagers. Most were young maidens, and when they saw Ao and Amina together, the whispering began. It's true. The girl is actually in love with that vile man. I cannot believe it. Seeing the size of the crowd, a wave of cold fear washed over Amina. Shame gripped her, and she immediately pulled her hand away from Ao's. A strong, older girl stepped forward from the crowd. Amina, daughter of Agbik and Ola, is it true that you are having a secret affair with this outcast? Are these rumors we hear factual? Yes or no? If you say yes, you know the consequence. You will be treated like him. If you say no, you must explain why Tola and Yatund found you two alone in the heart of the forest. Amina was utterly terrified. She began to think of what it would mean to be shunned like Ao, to have her parents disgraced, and to lose her standing. In a moment of devastating weakness, she abandoned her own heart. No, it is false, she cried out to the villagers. I have no association with this man. I don't even know him, let alone desire him. Hearing this, Ao's eyes sank in utter sadness and betrayal. He could not believe those words had come from Amina's mouth. Then why were the two of you alone in the deep bush when Tola and Yatund found you? The older girl pressed. Amina's mind raced. He kidnapped me on my way to my parents' farm. He tried to assault me. Thankfully, Tola and Yatund arrived just then. They didn't understand what was happening, so they assumed I was flirting with this outcast. I wasn't. I would never subject myself to such a vile act. As Amina finished, Yatund and Tola exchanged wicked smiles. They immediately began to back up Amina's story, telling the villagers that they must have misunderstood the situation and that Amina was a victim of Ao's desperate attempt to force himself upon a woman. Witnessing the lie, tears began to stream down Ao's ravaged face. He pleaded with Amina. Amina, please. Tell them this is not true. Please. I beg you, do not do this to me. I cannot bear these accusations if they believe you. Amina looked into his eyes, hardening her heart against the shame. Shut up, outcast. You tried to grope me. Stop pretending. These good people will never believe your lies. The villagers believed Amina's testimony and resolved to seize Ao for attempted assault. Ao instantly turned and fled from their midst, tears blinding him. The villagers gave chase, pursuing him for hours as he ran deep into the dreaded, evil forest of the village. Eventually, he managed to lose them in the thick, unforgiving woods, and the villagers gave up and returned home. Later that evening, bruised and heartbroken from maneuvering through the harsh terrain, Ao lay hopelessly beneath a massive iroko tree, ready to give up his life. Soon, a pack of hyenas surrounded him, closing in. As one of them stepped on a fallen branch, the sharp crack woke Ao. He saw the predator approaching with every step, but he lay helpless, defeated. Go ahead, beast, he exclaimed, closing his eyes. Eat me. Devour me. At least I know I am wanted by something, even if it is only a creature that wishes to feed on me. As Ao waited to be consumed, he heard a voice, not a growl, but a clear, melodic voice. Why would you think I would want to eat you? Ao's eyes snapped open. The voice had come from one of the hyenas. He assumed the blood loss and heartbreak had driven him mad, but the hyena reassured him. Fear not, son of man. You are not insane. I am here to help. I have been here to help the whole time, even when you chased me away the first time. What do you mean, strange beast? Ao cried. Are you mocking me? Why not just eat me and end this misery? I wish only to vanish from this cruel world. As Ao spoke, The hyena began to shift, taking on a glorious, human-like form before his eyes. It was a figure of a breathtaking mystic woman, adorned in flowing crimson and ivory cloth. The figure spoke again. "Ao, do not fear. My name is Amina, the goddess of the betrayed and the hopeless. I came here because I felt the depth of your sorrow in this forest, just as I appeared to your female friend when she was first betrayed." "What happened, Ao? Who betrayed you? A goddess, you say?" Ao replied bitterly. "That means nothing to me. You will find a way to betray me, just like Amina, and just like everyone else in my miserable life. Please, just help me disappear from this world. You are a goddess, right? Use your power to simply destroy me, I beg you." "Ao of the humans," Amina said gently. "I can grant your wish, but in a special way. First, you must tell me your story. How did you come to this harsh resolution? Who betrayed you, and why are you so sad?" Ao agreed and recounted his full, heartbreaking tale to the goddess. When he was finished, Amina was moved to tears by his pain and utter compassion for his plight. She made him an offer. "Ao, rise. I have heard your suffering. I will grant your wish, but instead of taking your life, I will grant you the power of invisibility, so that you may exact revenge on all those who cast you out because of your appearance." Ao stood, and the goddess bestowed upon him the profound gift. After his encounter with the goddess, Ao left the forest and went straight for the village, his heart now set on vengeance against all those who had tormented him. His targets were mainly the girls who had always looked down on him. In the days that followed, armed with the power of invisibility, he began his dark work. He started with Yatund, who was alone in her family's compound late one night when she felt a powerful, unseen presence overwhelm her and violate her. Next was Tola, who was working at her parents' riverside farm when she suddenly felt the shadows of a strange, unseen man fall over her, taking his will upon her. Gradually, Ao proceeded to execute his terrible revenge on every maiden in Ile-Ife who had ever scorned or cast him out. The kind-hearted, compassionate Ao was gone. Betrayal and heartbreak had transformed him into an unseen monster. Soon, Ao had successfully violated every girl who had hated him in the village. Only one remained, the one who had betrayed him most deeply and broken his already fragile heart, the one who had shattered the promise to never hurt him, Amina, his fiancée, who had denied him moments after their engagement. That night, he visited her home, cloaked in his invisible rage and sorrow. He entered her room, intending to subject her to the same fate as the others. But what he saw there shocked him and broke his heart all over again. Amina was sitting on the floor, depressed and weeping, with sketches and small carvings of his face scattered all around her room. Because of his invisibility, she had no idea he was standing right beside her. He moved around the room to understand her strange display of grief. That's when he found her personal writing journal. He quickly glanced through it and found pages upon pages detailing her overwhelming guilt, how deeply sorry she was for betraying him, how she regretted her actions, and how she swore never to forgive herself for denying him. "So, she truly regrets what she did to me," he thought, tears welling in his invisible eyes. But then he closed his eyes, and the memory of that day, Amina's public, cruel denial, flashed through his mind. His heart hardened again, and he resolved to proceed with the vengeance he had planned. As his eyes filled with fresh tears, and he was about to pounce, he heard Amina's tearful voice whisper, "Ao, is that you, my love? Thank you for watching this powerful story. If you felt the weight of Ao's tragedy, please leave what you learned about trust and appearances in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more deep African tales of fate and folklore. If this video reaches 5,000 views, I will reveal the shocking part 2. Share this video with your friends now. Here is another story I am certain you will enjoy. Click to watch now.